Hi, welcome to another Walter Scott Prize Longlist video. This is my sixth book, so I'm halfway through the long list. To be honest, I don't think I'm going to get through all 12 before the shortlist is announced. I'm going to try my best. I'm trying to go through them as quickly as possible. But this is the sixth book I read, sixth video, and this is all about The Safekeep by Yael van der Wouden. I hope I pronounced that properly. I apologise if not. So, The Safekeep, what did I think? So, The Safekeep, it's not my favourite, but it is one of my favourites. So, I'm very simple. Mother Naked is just on a different level for me. But The Safekeep is the first time, if I take my personal opinion away and put my Walter Scott Prize judging hat on, it's the first time I've had winner vibes. And it is one of my favourites. It's very close to Mother Naked. It's just edges it in terms of the competitiveness because of its artistry, to be honest. It's just brilliant. So The Safekeep is set in 1960s Netherlands, and we follow a group of siblings in the book. So we mainly focus on Isabel, but she also has two brothers, one older, Louis, and one younger, Hendrik. And we see Isabel is living in the old family home alone. Hendrik and Louis have both moved out, and she sees it as her home, but her uncle bought the home for the family, so Isabel and her siblings and her mother in 1945, just as the war was coming to an end. And we see the boys have moved out. Isabel now lives there alone. The mother died years previously, and it's really, so I'm going to read one of the extracts on the back. This is from another author, one of these endorsements that you get on the back of the book, and I think it summarises what I feel about the book really succinctly. So this quote is from Joanne Quinn, who is author of The Wellbone Theatre, and she says, "It's a twisting, elegant, intriguing story about the secrets we hide in our homes and hearts, and how it only takes one person to unlock the past." And that's really what the story is about. So we follow Isabel. She's quite standoffish, even with her own brothers. And we first meet the brothers. There's a meeting where Isabel, Hendrik, and Louis are meeting for lunch, and Louis is bringing along a girlfriend. And to Isabel, this is just another girl. You know, he goes through girlfriends like we all do hot dinners. So this is just another girl. And this girl is Eva. And she immediately doesn't like her from the start. And then a bit further on, we see Louis being asked to go over to the UK for work for a period of time, about a month or so. And he asks Isabel if Eva can stay with her in the house. He doesn't want her at his place because he has a flatmate, and he doesn't want her alone with a flatmate. And Isabel is not pleased about this at all. And we follow what happens when Eva comes to stay, and it is a journey of self-discovery. You know, we see how Isabel is quite self-loathing about herself, and we see maybe, is it things in the past that have caused this, things that she was both aware of, but also things she was not really aware of. She was maybe subconsciously aware something was happening, but this whole journey of self-discovery, it's a little bit raunchy in places. So, like, if you read the New Life last year by Tom Crew, it's got a few scenes like that. So if that makes you feel a bit funny, you know, reader discretion. But to me, do you know what? It was really beautifully written, even those raunchy bits. So in the New Life, it's quite blunt in your face. And there's bits in here like that, but it builds up so tenderly and really nicely that it doesn't feel like you're blushing too much. It actually makes sense in the pages. The book is paced really nicely as well. What I really love and what sets it apart is the language. It's so artistic, and this is why at the moment it's my front runner to win the Walter Scott Prize. I've only read half the book so far, but the language is beautiful. And what I said in my last video, not just beautiful but unique. So the literary devices are not necessarily ones you expect. Like I said about Hunger Ghost last year, if you've got something in there that takes me by surprise in a good way, then that's only positive. So I just want to give one really quick example of what I mean. So this is the first time where Isabel and Hendrik are meeting Eva when Louis comes to lunch,
And it's just a really short excerpt, but it said she had a violently peroxided bob. And I just, as soon as I read that, and this is really early on, page 9, I was just like, yes, I'm into that. That is the use of, you know, language that just surprises me, but in a good way. There's also some really great other literary devices. We have an instance of personification, just another short excerpt. A wind rose, trees along the path gossiping with shaking leaves. And yeah, that's brilliant. And what we also have, which I probably have read before, but as I'm becoming more aware when I'm reading of these devices being used, as I'm getting more into literature, we have what I'm calling reverse personification. I think that's probably the term that I've heard before, which I may have read before, but I wasn't aware I was reading it, if you like. So a bit later in the book, the reverse personification, but Isabel remained where she was, a tree upright in a storm. And, you know, this whole book is just so descriptive, beautifully written, and artistic is probably, I know I've said that just earlier, but it's the best way I can describe it. And do you know what as well? It is on the literary side, but there's a really great story with some twists that make it really enjoyable as well. And it's not overly literary. Like, for me as a common person, I read it and I do feel a bit clever because I'm like, oh, this is really good and artistic, but I understand it. But the story is really engaging as well. And that's why I've read it so quickly. It's only taken me, 3 days to read this, because I was just so into it. The story is really capturing. I love the twists as we get near to the end. The pace is changed up a little bit in the sort of third half, where diary entries are used. I won't go too much into that to give it away. But yeah, we have a chapter of diary entries, which change up the pace, but also gives us a background and lets us into the secret that's been going on. And when you read the title Safekeep, you think, well, what does this mean? What is it about? And it's fully explained, and it's so relevant to what happens in the book. I really can't sing its praises enough. Yeah, so far for me, this is winning. As I said though, it's not my favourite on a personal level, but it is it's probably my second favourite on a personal level so far. But in terms of me judging what's going to win, this is one to watch out. And also on the front it says Book of Prize shortlisted, and I ain't surprised by that at all. It's lovely. Go read it. What else can I say? So next up, I'm going to read the Book of Days, like I said I was going to do. Hopefully, I'm going to try and get through as many as I can. Also, what arrived in the post this morning, which I'm excited about because I can't find it anywhere in the UK, not on Amazon, not on Waterstones, not on other booksellers, is another Longlist, and that is Malcolm Knox, The First Friend. All the way from Australia. It's taken about 3 weeks to get here, which isn't too bad to be honest, and it was, you know, fairly reasonable price as well. But it's on the long list, so I've got to read it. I'll be doing that at some point. I'm not sure if this will be next or the other one I've got. A Sign of Her Own. I forgot that then. So this or that after the Book of Days, we'll see. And then I still need to order the last 2. But that's my thoughts on the Safekeep. Brilliant. Go read it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.